everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lindsay, and today I'm going to talk about 4 signs that you need a dopamine detox. So let's talk about it. What is a dopamine detox? This is almost like a mental detox where you're cutting out a lot of the consumption that we usually take for granted nowadays. We're glued to our phones, we're on the computer and the internet all day, and we don't even realize how much we are consuming and pulling in. And every time that we click that button and go further down that internet rabbit hole, you know what I'm talking about, it hits our brains in like a way that actually triggers the release of dopamine. And dopamine is a neurochemical that is triggered by pleasurable things. It could be as simple as food, it could be as complex as drugs. All of these things trigger our dopamine, but also every time we click on something, for example, if we're surfing the internet and we're on social media or something and we find ourselves in the scroll hole, every time we click, this is a hit of dopamine for our brain too. Gambling, it causes dopamine hits. So sometimes we don't realize how much our brains have become accustomed to these hits of dopamine all day long, from our digital habits, from our eating habits, and sometimes too much pleasurable activities can make us numb to everything else. And we need to go through kind of a dopamine detox period to reset so that we're able to experience the pleasurable feelings from life's simple pleasures again. So during a dopamine detox, we would avoid social media completely for usually it's a 24-hour period at the least. We would try to avoid checking email unless it has to do with work. Actually, all forms of the internet and digital consumption unless it has to do with work. This includes podcasts, it includes listening to audiobooks, any kind of information that is streaming in constantly. You'll see how hard it is to put it down for 24 hours. Every time you reach for your phone to check something, that is your brain actually unconsciously looking for that dopamine hit. You also want to avoid sugar, caffeine, alcohol. All of these things are very pleasurable and do cause surges of dopamine in your brain. So you want to try to avoid that too. And just trying to be as present as possible in the current moment. Giving yourself at least 24 hours for your brain to reset is going to be very helpful. Some people need to do it even longer, maybe a week, maybe a month. Some people go on month-long digital detoxes, but I recommend just try 24 hours and see how difficult it is and see if you do feel better after that 24-hour period. So let's get into it. The first sign that you may need a dopamine detox is you're just not feeling motivated. You might have this long list of things that you have to do, but you just don't want to do anything, and you don't know why. It doesn't seem worth it to try. So if you're lacking this motivation, even though you know intellectually that it's something that you want to do, try doing a dopamine detox for a short amount of time. Increase it if necessary. See if that helps. Because what happens is if your brain becomes desensitized to dopamine, it is natural that you won't feel as much motivation. Dopamine really is a chemical of motivation. So if you're getting these hits all day long of dopamine from sources that don't really mean anything in your life and aren't going to be helpful, for example, social media or just – scrolling randomly on the internet, watching TV, something like that, then that's what happens, is that your motivation gets short-circuited. So you have to reset. Number 2 sign that you need to do a dopamine detox is you are procrastinating. And this is the worst feeling, when you have these things that you want to do, and for some reason you know you're going to do it, you want to do it, but just after you check this thing on social media, or just after you watch this one show. And it just becomes this endless cycle, and sooner or later you realize, oh my god, like, I'm not getting anything done, I'm just procrastinating, because everything that's important that I'm trying to do comes after these things that are causing hits in dopamine. This means that you're becoming way too dependent on these dopamine hits, and you need to eliminate it for a certain period of time just to rebalance. Number 3 sign you need a dopamine detox: you feel bored by everything. This is more later stage. This is kind of like a really big warning sign that you need a dopamine detox. But yeah, have you ever been like scrolling, and you scroll and scroll, and you're just looking for something to excite you or to interest you, and nothing's really doing it anymore, but you can't stop scrolling, and definitely everything else in your life seems way boring. So if you feel that you're not interested in anything anymore, and even if what you're searching for on the internet, on Netflix, on social media, none of that is really that interesting either, big sign that you would get a lot of benefit out of a dopamine detox. Number 4 sign that you need a dopamine detox is you feel attached or addicted to your phone in any way. So I know that this is very common to feel like you've got to be checking your phone all day. It's very common, but it's not necessarily normal or healthy. This attachment to your phone and to the notifications is a sign that you have become, on some level, attached or addicted to the dopamine hits that come when you get a notification on your phone, when you have some downtime and you can check your social media, or you can check the news and see what's coming up on your notifications. What's the next segment that I can watch? This kind of thing. If you feel at all attached, and the idea of spending a day away from your phone gives you kind of anxiety, then unfortunately this is a sign that you need to take that time away from your phone. And yes, that first 24 hours is probably not going to be the most fun. You're going to feel bored. You're going to feel like you're missing something. But it's essential to learn how to retrain your brain to be present in the moment. This is so good for your mind, for your attention span, for your overall motivation, for your ability to enjoy simple things in life. So give it a try. See how it goes. I wish you guys good luck, and let me know if you have some positive experiences in the comments, and I will see you next time.